Manifest your dream life on social media? For real? Well, we'll not keep you waiting. And if you are loving and learning as much as I hope you are through these Time to Thrive live episodes, I really appreciate your support if you leave a little like or comment below and subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's do this. Hey, Altair. So, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone firstly? Let the world know who your beautiful self is.
Thank you so much, first of all, Amy, for the invitation to be on the show with you today. I'm so excited to share value with your audience and to tap into the incredible medicine that you're sharing with so many people around the world. It's really an honor.
You're actually such an angel.
Oh, bless you. No, I'm so excited to have this conversation because I think it's such a hot topic and we're really going to shift some paradigms for people today. And I'm all about that. So my name is Althea and I am a life and business coach. I'm a spiritual mentor and a healer. I actually began a career in international aid and development. I worked for organizations like the United Nations and the World Wildlife Fund. Over the course of about 10 years, I was working on climate vulnerability projects, girls and women's programs around the world, things of that nature. And I then switched to the healing arts when I realized that if we're trying to make an impact in the world, Amy, it really all begins with ourselves.
Yes.
Right.
You know it, girl.
And I kind of learned the hard way because I was such an advocate for development programs and charitable programs and making a positive difference in the world and being behind the scenes of these intensely recognized international organizations. I realized that even with an emphasis on international development, there was little to no emphasis on personal development.
Yeah, doing everything for the world, but what about Altair?
Yeah, what about me, people?
I matter too.
I'm trying to feed myself and feel good here at the same time.
I know there's definitely not enough as a focus on it as there needs to be, right? Because it all starts with us.
Well, and that's the main thing is that even though it's true, I felt kind of underappreciated, undercompensated in the nonprofit sector, and that was frustrating for me because I wanted to make such a large impact and have an influence. It was such a competitive work environment. It could be such a toxic work environment. There was so much ego. People were really pushing themselves to their limits and beyond. There was kind of a bravado around who could stay up the latest, who could sleep the fewest amount of hours.
It wasn't feeling aligned with you and like you were really in your vibe in that environment and whatsoever.
Well, there was so much scarcity. I just noticed all these problems with the work environment itself. And like people weren't thriving and they were out there doing work to help others. And if you're not thriving in yourself, if you don't have an abundance mindset, if you're not taking care of yourself and valuing yourself, how can you be of service to other people?
But I think, Altair, what you've just described is the actual scenario for too many people around the world and that they're in that situation that you were. So I feel like from you sharing that story, a lot of people will really relate to that and they'll think, gosh, that's where I am now. And look, Altair's broken free from that. So maybe I could do it too.
I hope so, because there are so many alternatives, there are so many possibilities. And now as a life and a business coach and someone who has been trained in herbalism, nutrition, shamanic healing techniques, past life soul regression, hypnosis, I'm really guiding people back to the truth and the authenticity of who they really are and the relationship that we can be having with the universe. And it's a very different narrative from what we've been taught by our parents, our schools, our churches, our government, for example, about what's possible. And there's so many other possibilities for us to really thrive.
Preach it! I feel like a lot of what you've just said is what we were chatting about when you were asking me, like, what is my purpose and what am I doing? Like, I literally, it's almost like the two of us have, yeah, come down this path, but not really. I feel like, you know, in a lot of ways, you can have soul sisters around the world who are just sort of, they have a similar mission to you, but you never actually discover them until you find them, and it's like, yes, you're on this journey with me, girl, which I just love. And you know, it's so incredible and empowering what you're doing, and to actually flip that script on and go against the grain and really just actually have faith and power in that what you know and what you have learned is actually the right way and the better way to do it than to just accept the norm and go along with that miserable life. Really, that's what it is. Like, you may think that that's the best thing because that's what everyone else is doing and you're fitting in, but really, are you feeling happy? That's the main question. Are you feeling nourished and fulfilled in your life?
It's such a good question, Amy, and that's why I'm so excited about the topic today, which we decided we wanted to show people, like, how can you manifest your dream life using social media? Because a lot of research and science is showing that even after a long day of working a job that a lot of people might feel dissatisfied with, they're immediately on their phones right after work, right when they wake up in the morning, and it's often a way for them to try and access something that feels more fun, more nourishing, and more enjoyable. But people log off of social media apps and actually their self-esteem has gone down.
There's a lot of research into that to show that kind of evidence is there. And then also, Althea, people are using social media the way you're saying there. It's a distraction, though, from the misery and the hurt and the suffering that they feel within themselves. So it's just a complete distraction and block from actually dealing with that. And that was something that you sort of wanted to talk about, that, you know, maybe you should instead, rather than reaching for your phone, should you not reach for inner healing maybe, or something like this, you know, and actually doing the work on yourself that you probably know you need to do, but you just can't be bothered or whatever.
Awesome. You know, and I have so much compassion for folks who are reaching for their phone, because it means that they're reaching for something, and we're no longer sitting around the campfire at night telling stories in community. We crave social interaction. And so because so many of us are living very autonomous lives, we're very isolated from our communities, I can understand the impulse to seek that on some level and crave that through social media, and that we're hoping to connect somehow on a subconscious level.
I think it depends how you're using it. Like, really, I mean, whenever I was describing it there, I was sort of saying it in that, you know, there's a lot of healing you could be doing, and in a way you're just masking by just scrolling. If you're actually going on social media and seeking out connection, then that's something totally different than just mindless scrolling and looking at it and it makes you feel worse about yourself. You know, I think it all comes down to really how you're using social media, and sort of what we wanted to delve into really was how to use it for good and how to use it to bring about positive change for yourself and for the world if you choose to use it to create.
Exactly. And so I have some tips on that I feel people can start using today to start feeling a lot better. You know, I'm not going to ask you to put your phone away completely in this conversation. It's about, if you're going to be on there, let's use it as an opportunity to charge your personal battery, so that you don't leave that app feeling drained. You leave feeling nourished, replenished, inspired, perhaps activated to make change in your life. And so what's so beautiful about what you've just said, Amy, about the fact that we've met kind of against the odds in terms of living in different time zones, living in different parts of the world. Perhaps we might not have known about one another's mission and path and journey. But social media is such an incredible place for finding community and finding like-minded individuals. And I think that there's a tendency on social media to start scrolling and comparing. And I think it can come up even more aggressively when you're seeing someone who does have a similar mission, who does have a similar calling, and you see them out in the world sharing that and doing well, and immediately what can come up is a sense of competitiveness, is a sense of scarcity. Oh, they're doing that, so there's less for me because they're already doing the same thing. And there can also be a sense of like envy or jealousy. And we know that at the end of the day, thriving is about feeling good. So we don't want to be necessarily feeling all of those really icky, dense emotions.
No.
And so what really flipped the script for me was just, anytime you see someone, I think, who's in a similar niche or they're doing something, really don't see them as competition. The word competition comes up if you studied marketing, you studied business, you studied branding, or you're a female who was at one time a teenager. It's very...
Yeah, exactly.
That comparison impulse can really kick in and get really strong. But instead of competitor, I like to use the word ally, because how cool is it that neither one of us, Amy, can heal every single person that we want to heal in the world.
I know.
Neither one of us can serve as many people as we would really like to be serving in the world. But because you're out there sharing your magic, sharing your medicine, I'm thankful for you. I have gratitude for you because you're uplifting your brothers and sisters, and it inspires me to keep going and doing more of the same in my own life. So that's one of the tips I really wanted to share, was if you see someone doing something similar to you or something you'd like to be doing in your own life, really thank that person for reactivating that own desire within yourself. And you guys are allies.
So beautiful. I really love that, because I think that is such a prominent issue in our society, where people really do compare, and it does make them feel in very a range of crippling emotions about themselves. And the way you have flipped that round there is and that's a powerful tool for people to really try. And it wouldn't be just as simple as, right, it's switched one day. I think that does take a lot of work and practice, but to really practice at it, and that every time it happens, be mindful of how it has made you feel, and to sort of work on that, work through it, and that it is possible to come through because you have personally experienced that and been through that journey yourself.
And that's an amazing avenue for healing in a more general way, because honestly, anytime we see something on social media that doesn't feel good, we should stop.
Yeah.
We should pause, exactly like you say, become mindful. Oh, first of all, I'm not feeling good. Second of all, what's the real reason why I'm not feeling good when I see that? And it's usually an opportunity to do some kind of inner healing. So I love to thank those sensitive parts of myself that feel triggered or rise to the surface and feel raw and feel tender, because it's an opportunity to say, oh, good, now I understand something more about myself, where I can go in and heal.
And it really does take you to be checking yourself before you wreck yourself, because so many people are just like, there's so much on social media and they're just scrolling by. So actually taking a minute out and thinking, oh gosh, that didn't make me feel so good. Why? And doing that work that you have mentioned there, because if you're just scrolling through, like, you're feeding these negative emotions into your body and then sort of going to bed or something, for example, or getting on with the rest of your day. And then it's just all building up, and it comes to a head, and it's just, you really got to take that time for yourself and do this work. It's really not, something that's airy-fairy and woo-woo. It's actually really crucial and like necessary to do this, and to come to a better place with yourself, because no one deserves to live a life of suffering.
Absolutely. I 1000% agree with that.
And there's also, so there's many other ways aside from the feeling triggered by social media, in that in other ways that we can use social media. So you had actually mentioned like vision boarding and this kind of thing. So I love that. Would you like to talk a bit more about that? Because I don't know about you, I have a lot of different, I save everything. I am one of these active savers, and I have different folders. So I'll have like, oh, dream board destinations I want to travel to, like all these different folders of, so that it's like your mood board of your life that you're dreaming on social media. Like you can do this.
Absolutely. I love that you already are doing that, Amy, because I think that's one of the really positive tools that we can start using when we're on social media. Is when we're scrolling, let's just focus on the things that, yes, that have triggered something within us. That's an opportunity for healing. And guess what? On the other side of that discomfort is so much energy that you get to claim for yourself. So it's really worth that temporary discomfort of dealing with that in honor of the long-term benefits of feeling like you can really be a whole, complete person, right? And to feel genuine well-being in yourself before you allow any external stimuli to rob yourself of well-being, to rob yourself of happiness. That's always us giving permission in some way. We never have to give permission to that external stimulation. But what we can do as well is really focus on what's making us feel really good. So I think that the save feature on Instagram is amazing. It's in the bottom right-hand corner. It looks like that little ribbon. Yeah. And if you click that, you can save it to a folder. And I actually have a folder that says, "Thank you, universe."
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's anything that lights me up, that's like, oh my God, that woman is seriously swimming with dolphins right now. Like, I would love to be swimming with dolphins. I'm going to put that in the Thank You Universe folder. Or, you know, oh, there's like a really cute, inspiring couple, and I just love what they're about. I would love that in my own life. Let's put that in Thank You Universe.
And it's just sort of a folder of like the beauty that the world can be, and things that are out there that the world has to offer us that are just stuff to be so grateful for.
That is the magic of social media, is we're constantly expanding more and more around what it is that we're really desiring. Just seeing social media as a tool to be like, I didn't even know that national park existed. Thank you, social media, for showing me there's a beautiful national park in Panama that I would love to imagine going to one day. You know, thank you, social media, for showing me that there are like good men out there. Like, that was something I struggled with for a long time, you know, before I was able to attract
introduce me to these, please.
And they're out there, and you can see, like, thank goodness someone showed like a sweet example of being in a sweet relationship so that I could imagine an alternative. And I think I have so much to thank for social media exposing me and expanding me to possibilities of things that are also available to me, because, honey, you know this so well, right? The number one rule of manifestation is that if you can think it, it already exists and it's available to you. It's just a matter of coming into energetic alignment with that and closing the gap energetically. So thank you, social media, for showing me so many things that I now realize are also available for me.
Yeah, because all these things, if you think about whenever my granny was growing up, she only had where her 2 feet could take her. She could not see the abundance of the world. She could not see what was going on in India, America, Canada, and all these countries around the world. We can literally see the whole world at our fingertips, and that is magic.
Yes.
It is freaking incredible. So if we can think it in our minds, we can hold it in our hands, right?
Our thoughts can become reality. And not everyone is taught that. It's a very basic fundamental principle of creation. It is a law of nature. It's very natural. It's the birthright for every single person who is carrying human consciousness on this planet. So I have social media in so many ways to think, to say like, wow, that person's living such an abundant lifestyle. I could do that too.
Yeah, whenever you're in a place of suffering and struggle in whatever area that is of your life, if you say you were in a traumatic relationship and seeing good men inspired in you that, oh, one day that could be possible for me, and that could potentially encourage you to break out of a toxic relationship, you know, there can be so much power through the stories that people are sharing online as well, and owning up and sharing and being brave and honest and raw and real. And that can really just help you when you're going through such a difficult time, to know that you're not alone. There's other people out there that have feel this way, have felt this way and come through it, and that's incredible. That can be just transformative for someone to read that story, never mind getting therapy from someone. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's endless opportunities to be afforded through social media. We should be so grateful. Like, thank you, universe. Thank you, social media. It's not the devil and the root of all, you know, demonic in this world. There's so much just power that we have been given through this function.
Absolutely. So I see social media as an amazing tool for manifesting. I see social media as an amazing tool for healing. And I also believe in this expression that, you know, the 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with, you are a combination of those 5 people on some level. Well, here's your homework to everyone who's watching. Find 5 role models on social media that you can follow, who are sharing about their lives, who are living lifestyles that are aspirational to you, that wake you up to what's possible for you just by watching and feeling what their life is like. Make sure it's someone that is, you know, has the same values that you have in some way, but find those 5 people on social media, because you're going to look at them every single day and it's going to have an impact on yourself. So choose wisely.
I actually love that, because I didn't even have to ask you for a challenge. I didn't even tell you that. I usually just like to put people on the spot. Can we have a little challenge? And would you like to think of one? And you've just given everyone it. We love a good professional. You're literally one step ahead of the game.
I must just be, we're on the same wavelength, Amy. That's it.
We are definitely on the same vibe here. I love that. So that's really nice. And would you encourage just people then to follow those 5, or would you actually then, maybe if they felt brave enough to maybe even try and connect with one, like whether that's just a comment or a like, or you send them a private message? You know, I guess there's 3 levels there that you could go down.
I absolutely love that. Yes, I'd say engage. You know, it's not always the case that that person can respond.
Yeah.
You know, they might get a lot of messages. They might have some notifications turned off. You know, everyone has to have their own boundaries with social media. But I absolutely recommend, you know, leaving a comment, liking something, commenting on a story, especially if it's someone that maybe you've been watching and there's been that triggering sense of like, I'm just watching out of more of like a voyeuristic kind of fascination. Imagine yourself becoming friends with that person. Imagine yourself becoming an ally with that person. Reach out and say, I really actually admire a lot of what you do, and I've been following you for a while, and I just want to say, you know, thank you, because I've learned so much from watching your story, and just see how that could open up a conversation potentially. And now you have a new friend, you know, somewhere else in the world who could maybe even be able to teach you a little bit about how they got to where they are. I always say, like, if you feel jealous of someone, the best thing you can do is like clear that emotion as quickly as possible, because wow, thank goodness this person is right in front of you who has something that you want, they're the best person to ask about how to get it. So, actually see it as an opportunity to learn, and so many people are so receptive to that, like genuine comment, reach out and genuinely connect. It's really magical what can happen.
Yeah, like I am very much not a consumer of social media, but a connector, and I solely use it for educating and empowering and connecting, because it is a social platform. It is not meant to be viewed in isolation. Really engage with people. If you feel someone on your vibe, obviously it depends on the size of their account, but regardless of whether it's a big account or not, a lot of big accounts will still respond to me, and I feel like a drop in the ocean sometimes. So actually, and it's really, really lovely, and you can make friends around the entire world, and that's just unbelievable to me.
Exactly. It's unbelievable. And so I love that you're already practicing that, Amy. And I really encourage everyone watching to consider making a connection.
Yes, and do you know what people could do? So we can have a hashtag assigned to our challenge, whatever that may be. We can think of one, and I'll share it in the caption of this video, and they can tag the two of us in a story at us, with the hashtag, and share their 5 people.
I love that. I love that idea.
Isn't that a nice idea? They could share their 5 people in a little story, or they can put up a picture with who their 5 people are and why, because how beautiful is that to share how 5 people are your people who are inspiring you or you feel connected with, because that's just connecting you with 5 people and sort of building them up as well.
I will absolutely do that. I will commit to this challenge with you, Amy.
Yay! I'll do it too. I'm excited. This is fun. Sharing is caring, like really, and there's so much love to spread.
There is, and something we were talking a little bit about how COVID has changed our careers a bit. And for me, I used to do so much teaching and sharing in person, and I've loved teaching and I love giving value for free. But what was different with COVID is that now that I've switched to being online, I'm still teaching, I'm still sharing, but you don't get to see that person's face when they're hearing what you have to share. You don't get to connect with that person afterwards and have a little conversation, as people are like filing out of the room. I think that just recognizing and acknowledging that those who are sharing and teaching and giving value, they also really love to actually know that they're having an impact and someone is connecting to what it is that they're sharing. It's a beautiful energetic exchange that isn't as present when we share online. So I really want to advocate for people, you're learning something from a teacher, at the end of a yoga class, what do? You namaste, and maybe you thank that person for helping you with a new posture or whatever, and just having those conversations and engaging both ways. I miss that in the online space.
Me too, Althea, and namaste to you, because you've actually been such a blessing. And really, it's been beautiful and so enjoyable speaking with you today, because I feel like you really radiate your embodiment of just who you are, and you can really tell, like, from your soul, you're on a mission to really heal and just be your best self, so that you can encourage others to be their best self too. And that is just really, I'm blessed to have been joined by you today. I really am. It's just, you're a goddess. So thank you so much, darling.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Would you like
right back at you?
people?
Right back at you.
Oh, that's so kind. Would you like to inform everyone of where they can find you from this video, so that they can come and figure out more from you and what you're sharing and what you're doing in the world?
Thank you so much for the offer. I would love to, maybe we can put in the show notes, you can just tag my Instagram account. That's where I share most of the free value that I'm able to like consistently share with people on a daily basis, really, in my posts, in my stories. I love including tips, tricks, affirmations, things that I'm thinking about. So that's really my hub. And then otherwise, I am running a program right now called Pop Academy, and it's a 12-week deep dive into manifestation practices and spiritual techniques that are really simple, that help you to come into alignment with that dream life. So we get to talk about everything that we talked about today in a lot more detail, so that people have those practical tools and awareness for manifesting. And so maybe we can put some information about Pop Academy in the show notes as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to connecting with anyone who has watched this podcast and wants to reach out in the DMs and say, hi, I saw you on Amy's podcast. That would be amazing. Amy and I would both love to see that. So please feel invited.
Yay! Yes, I will definitely be getting on board with our challenge, and I'm looking forward to seeing yours too.
Yes, I can't wait.
I will chat to you very, very soon.
I hope so. To be continued, Amy.
Lots of love.
Lots of love.
And thank you so much for being here for another Time to Thrive Live episode. I really hope you enjoyed it and that you'll get involved in our challenge. And I hope that you are manifesting your dream life or are already living it, because that's what we all deserve. Don't forget to hit that heart if you did enjoy it, so I know you want me to keep making more of these. Leave me a comment and subscribe, of course. Until next time, sending all my love and light your way.